All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the WD Broadcasting Network. We are ready to roll for tonight's Mabel's Jackpot 150. Qualifying has finished up. We are about to do the B feature, which I think everybody in this race is going to transfer. It's just going to be a short little practice session for these drivers. But race number 5 of the season, we stop at the Thompson Speedway. Very strange paperclip oval. A little bit different than the tracks that we have seen so far this season. The pace car drops out of 4. Daniel Calhoun, Danny Mann, and Will Vest going to bring us to the green. We are racing for 15 laps in the last chance qualifier. Daniel Calhoun in the 04, going to try to take that preferred upper groove through 1 and 2. But I think Danny Mann on the inside going to try to slide up, and he will take that spot. Thompson, an interesting racetrack because you see the drivers up on the outside lane of the track when they go down into the corner. This would be a good shot through 3 and 4. Not really down on the bottom. Danny Mann in the 10 machine, running right above that darker strip through the center. Will Vest a little bit sideways out back. He was able to hang on to it, though. We'll go on board for a lap with Danny Mann, see what this track is going to drive like. A little bit tight through the center of the corner, trying to get that car cut up off. Man brings us back. 11 laps to go this time. Tonight's feature going to be 150 laps. But it's going to be a long one here. I believe they do have a set of tires in the pits. Kind of shake things up. And that's going to be a very interesting thing to watch, because tire strategy mixed in with how important track position is going to be. You're going to want to pit around the same time as everybody else, but preferably ahead of them. You don't have to pass them when you get back out onto the track. We've got 9 laps to go. Danny Mann getting some separation from Daniel Calhoun. A little bit of shade in turns 1 and 2. They are running, I think, further up in 1 and 2 than they are in 3 and 4. You can see the 10 enter just a little bit lower, kind of let it drift up. And then off the corner he goes. Exit of 2 can be very tricky here. You saw the weird line that the 10 kind of took off the corner. It gets a little bit tight right on the very end of the corner. Kind of tightens up, and you really have to point that car down the back straightaway. Right about there. Danny Mann doing a good job right this second. This is really a final practice session for these drivers as we come back to 5 laps to go. Like I said, all of them do transfer into tonight's Mabel's Jackpot 150. Four to go this time for Mann. Quite a gap built up from Daniel Calhoun, who started on the pole in this one. The 10 machine really giving us a good view of what tonight's race is going to look like. Going to be very tough to pass. We come back to 3 laps to go. But Very tough to pass, and the tires will get hot. You see the sun shining. Track is going to be slick. 2 laps to go this time for Danny Mann. He does have the best lap of the race. It was a 19.98. We'll see where that stacks up against our qualifying times, which we'll look at in just a moment. He feathers the throttle through turns 3 and 4 as he comes back to the white flag. 1 more lap to go. Final time for Danny Mann in the last chance race here tonight. All 3 of these drivers going to make it. Will Vest did bring that machine pit side just before the white flag. A checkered flag for Danny Mann. Daniel Calhoun comes across second. And that is going to do it for the B feature. Last chance race, whatever you want to call it. It wraps up Danny Mann burning it down on the front straightaway. We'll get things reset. And then it is time for our warm-up session. This is a good view of the Thompson Speedway. You really get a good angle of what this track actually looks like. Very long straightaways, which is going to keep these guys kind of bunched together. There's not really a draft, but you're not going to be able to pull away due to the lack of power in these cars. There's going to be a lot of corner speed, so you're going to have to keep your momentum up. As the first car out on track, Derek Kraus in the number 9 machine. He was last week's winner in the Winter Challenge Series. Looking at our point standings coming into tonight, Tristan Swanson is currently at the top. He has been the leader since week number 1, where he put it victory lane. We'll see what happens here tonight. Riley Stenjum second. Anthony Danta third. Trent Smith fourth. Ty Fredrickson in the 5th spot. Very close up at the front of the field. 15 back is Riley Stenjum, and then it's 5 and 9 gaps back behind him. So a very tight field. Tristan Swanson has a slight advantage after week 4. Warm up, getting ready. Let's go finish here. Take a look at Thompson. The track temp only 79 here this evening, so not too hot out there. But I'm sure the sun is not going to be everybody's friend. We may have a couple drivers experience the right where get a little bit hot. You see them sliding on the exit of the corners. But we do have a set of tires in the pits to save them, so we don't have to go the full 150 on that set of tires. You definitely don't want to overuse the life on them early on. Joe Schaefer Jr. in the 6th machine. He had a really good run going at the Indianapolis Raceway Park. Just could not get the job done. I think there was an incident late that took him out of contention. But another driver for us to keep our eye on. Let's have a look at the qualifying results here tonight. The top 20 that transferred in on time. Look at how close that field is up front. Derek Kraus was on the pole. Just 3 1,000ths slower was Ty Fredrickson. Anthony Danta 3rd. Joe Schaefer Jr. 4th. Riley Stenjum right there as well. Brandon Ellis 6th spot. just about ready to roll here in the feature. Adjustments before we send them green. We should be ready to roll. 150 laps going to be the distance. And if it is anything like we have seen so far this season, could be some carnage. With these tight corners, there's going to be a lot of checking up, especially on quarter entry. Going to be a spot to watch as we send them green. Tristan Swanson, your point leader. Rocking the white scheme here tonight. White and gold on that machine. We'll see if he can't pick up the victory here tonight as we are finally finished with that warm-up session. We are ready to roll for tonight's Mabel's Jackpot 150. The field makes their way to the starting grid. The invert tonight is an 8. Derek Kraus going to be rolling off outside of row number 4. Puts Michael Ostiek on the pole in the 18 machine. And let's look at our starting grid here tonight for the Mabel's Jackpot 150. Michael Ostiek on the pole in the 18. He'll have Trent Smith to his outside in the number 3. Starting third is going to be Brandon Elvis in the 154. Starting fourth to his outside will be Riley Stenjum in the 77 machine. Stenjum last week got second at the North Wilkesboro Speedway. We'll keep an eye on that 77. Joe Schaefer Jr. in the 6 going to roll off from the 5th position here tonight into his outside. He's going to have Anthony Danta in the 51. Inside of row number 4, this is your 2 fastest qualifiers tonight. Ty Fredrickson going to start 7th. Then quick time, Derek Kraus going to roll off from the 8th spot. Brian Tedeschi in the 129 will roll off 9th. It is outside in the 07. It's going to be Jackson Lewis. Corey Rogers in the 17 will start 11th. Next to your points leader, Tristan Swanson in the 91. Back behind him, Brett McCoy in the 1 machine, going to start from the 13th spot. We'll have Caleb Adrian in the 29, starting 14th is outside. Justin Coleman, he's got the 600 on there. We'll see what it shows up with when they come back around, but he'll be starting from the 15th spot. He'll have Steele Langford to his outside in the 33. Nick Rieberg in the 117, going to start from the 17th spot. Next to Eddie Dabrowski in the 029. The 19 is Matthew Menendez will roll off 19th next to Ryan Honeycutt in the 128, starting 20th. Then your 3 B-feature transfers will be Danny Mann, Daniel Calhoun, and Will Vess, bringing us to the green. The pace car makes its way through the safety of pit road. They are through the start zone, and it is time to go. We're racing here in the Mabel's Jackpot 150. Down into turns 1 and 2. Michael Ostiek makes a big run, and they're wrecking behind. Daniel Calhoun. Derek Kraus was up into the wall. Ryan Honeycutt. A couple of drivers collected. I think the green flag may stay out. The caution flag did not come out there. And we stay green. What a way to start this off at the Thompson Speedway. Two laps in, they're fighting for the 4th spot. That's Ty Fredrickson up on the top side. Here comes Riley Stenjum looking down low. Big send to the inside. The 77 goes up the racetrack. You can see the 36 try to go up with him, but they both get a drag race run down the back straightaway. It looks like Stenjum gonna muscle his way up to the 4th spot. He's gonna set his sights on Brandon Elvis. Brian Tedeschi in the 29, up 3 spots, started in the 9th position, already up to 6th here as he's working that outside lane. That's Caleb Adrian and Steele Langford in the 33. Looks like LaPointe able to get back up in front. And now here comes Ty Fredrickson back to the inside of Riley Stendrum, wants to take that 4th spot back. Fredrickson up the racetrack with a little muscle of his own through 1 and 2. And I think he's going to take the lead down the back straightaway. Or sorry, take the spot down the back straightaway. Move Fredrickson back up to the 4th spot. We had a wild incident into turns 1 and 2, but after 7, we're clean and green. Matthew Menendez, 19 underneath Danny Mann. Mann's going to get the run on the outside, and he'll take that spot. That's for the 17th position back behind. We've got drivers all over this field looking to make positions early, trying to flip out a line, see where they can make a spot. Justin Coleman in the 14 machine's got a good view of this battle up in front of him. Nick Rieberg in the 117 tried to slip to the inside of Steele Langford, couldn't quite get the job done. He has to fall back in line. Early on in this one, we go back up front. Michael Oste has led the first 10 laps down into turns 1 and 2. He's gained about half a second over Trent Smith. That is the lead when he comes out of turn number 4. Smith that last time just a little bit quicker. Maybe starting to close that gap. We'll keep an eye on it, though. Meanwhile, Ty Fredrickson has Brian Tedeschi on his back bumper in turns 1 and 2. Oh, sorry, 3 and 4. Get turned around here at Thompson. Tedeschi definitely putting pressure on for the 4th spot. And oftentimes, when you get behind somebody like that, it's really hard to pass them, but you can often pressure them into making a mistake and getting a somewhat easy position, especially here early in the race. Everybody's not quite as comfortable as they would be later on. Actually, everybody pretty much single file at this moment. Not a lot of action going on. Michael Oste is your race leader. Oste currently sitting in the 22nd spot in the points. Only has 2 starts with us this season. Has not had the results that he had last season. Obviously a very fast driver. You can see him out front here early on. Brandon Elvis in the 154. Slowly closing the gap to the back bumper of Trent Smith. Smith starting to back down the race leader as well. So up front on the lap time sheet, the race leaders, I should say, starting to get a little bit more competitive. Sitting in the 14th spot, he's got Steele Langford to his back bumper. Everybody trying to play the patience game. They don't want to push too hard too early. They don't want to burn up those tires. We're only 19 laps into this one. Still a lot of laps to go. Boy drops to the bottom in turns 1 and 2. Langford going to go to the outside lane. Nick Rieberg going to try to take advantage as well on the outside. There's Justin Coleman and Derek Krause. Look at the recovery he's made. Remember, he was involved in that early trouble in turn number 1. I believe he had an EOL, started from the rear of the field. And Krause already back up to the 16th spot. He's trying to continue to work his way forward. Up front, Michael Ostiek continues to hold a similar advantage. It's floating around 4 to 5 tenths of a second. Langford. They're in a battle for the 13th spot. Rieberg trying to peek underneath and take that spot away as Langford was loose off the corner. A little contact is made down into 3 and 4. Here comes Derek Krause to the inside of Nick Rieberg. 33. Langford going to be able to get away. Ostiek out front. Brandon Elvis in the 154, quietly sitting in that 3rd spot right now. He's got the best view of the leaders in front of him. Currently in the 3rd spot, started in 3rd. He's trying to be patient with the runs that he's getting. Doesn't want to put too much pressure on the car. You can see the 54 definitely right there in the battle for the lead as Trent Smith is starting to close that gap. Derek Krause, big dive underneath Nick Rieberg, trying to take that spot away, but the 17, you can see the run. He gets off the top side. Krause that time going to slide up in front, take the spot away. The 33 of Steele Langford looking the inside of Caleb Adrian. Adrian way up the racetrack there. No contact up into the outside wall. Slows on the front stretch. Everybody able to avoid to the inside. Good trouble there for Caleb Adrian coming out of 4. He'll pull that machine to the inside of the racetrack. He may try to find pit road here. Yeah, you can see him pulling that car to the bottom side of the racetrack. Bringing it pit side. Tough break for the 29 of Caleb Adrian. Look back up front. Michael Ostiek's lead. Still right around 0.4 of a second, but the 3-car of Trent Smith finding some drive up off the corner and really starting to close that gap on the straights. You can see it go down to 0.3 of a second as they enter turn 1. Michael Ostiek in the 18 machine. Has not won a race this season. Would love to get back to victory lane. We have had 4 races and 4 different winners, so we'll see if that trend continues tonight, or if we will see a repeat winner. Battle back behind him. Riley Stenjum underneath Brian Tedeschi. Ooh, a little contact there. Stenjum up the racetrack into the left side door of Tedeschi. Now the 77 takes that spot away. Jackson Lewis going to try a similar maneuver to take the 5th spot. Sorry, 6th. Lewis in the 7 underneath Riley Stenjum. Trying to break into the top 5. Jackson Lewis, your biggest mover so far. Glides way up to the top side. Slide job through turns 3 and 4. Stenjum going to do a complete crossover there. Now he'll go with a slide job of his own. Down the back straightaway. Lewis in the 7 machine going to go back to the bottom. We'll try and save a little bit. Oh, maybe not. A little contact off of 4. And Jackson Lewis going to say, that's my spot now. Move Lewis into the top 5. Oh, and a little more contact. Riley Stenjum way up the racetrack into the marbles. Got stuffed into the wall in turn number 1. He's going to lose several positions all the way back to the 14th spot. Justin Coleman going to go by as well. You can see the damage on the right side of that race car. The left side seems to be all right. We'll watch the right side here. The right front definitely pushed in. A big loss right there for Riley Stenjum. Ryan Tedeschi in the 29, I think maybe it gave him a little payback from that maneuver earlier on. Machine already back up to the 12th spot. He's probably had the most eventful run of this one so far. He is the biggest mover in the field. I actually think I said Jackson Lewis was earlier on. No, it is the 9 machine of Derek Krause. He is storming through the field. 23 cars started. He started 23rd, already up to 12th. Now to the inside of Steele Langford. Langford not going to put up too much of a fight. He slides down into 1 and 2. Realizes it's not as smart to race at this moment in the race. Still a long way left to go. Front for the race lead. Brent Smith starting to put some pressure on out front. You see the big runs down the straightaway. The 3 machine almost looking to the inside, but decides not to. Down the back, here comes Trent Smith looking to the inside. Battle for the lead. Smith down low, Ostiek up top. Who can get the better run out of 4? Be the 18 at the line. But Trent Smith definitely has something figured out on that inside lane. Oh, and there's contact up in front of him. I think that was Will Vess down into the grass. He will get it back rolling, and Trent Smith going to lose a ton of ground. As that happened, he'll be back into the clutches of Brandon Elvis. 2. It's Steele Langford and Nick Reberg battling into 3 and 4. The 17 uses up a little bit more room than the 33 is willing to give. I think the 17 going to make that pass work out of 1 and 2. Move him up to the 12th spot. Meanwhile, up in front of him, Kristen Swanson, your points leader, under fire from Joe Schaefer in the 6 machine. to experience a little bit of lap traffic, but it's very few and far between. The big bunch of lap traffic is much further behind. But this time by, it will be lap 50 going up on the board for Michael Ostiek. He has led from the get-go. It's been the first 50 laps that we've had under green. Through 1 and 2, we watch Corey Rogers try to get to the inside of Brian Tedeschi. The inside definitely starting to lose a little bit of its drive. You see Joe Schaefer right in front of Derek Kraus. Kraus has actually caught this group. Remember, a short time ago, he was getting around Steele Langford and Nick Weber. So here comes Joe Schaefer to the inside. Swanson able to hold that run. Maybe up front, really able to do anything. Here comes Trent Smith. Taking another peek to the inside, and now Brandon Elvis is a little bit closer in that 154. But now if Smith does get to the inside, it's going to be a little bit harder for him to just fall right back in line. So he'll have the 54, Brandon Elvis right there. You can see Ostiek is feeling the pressure now down the back straightaway. The 3 of Trent Smith just barely not able to pull alongside. Smith definitely, I think, has a little bit more pace at this point. Lap 57 on the board, still caution free. A change from what we saw last week at Little Wilkesboro Speedway, where we had 10 caution flags. So far, the first 57 have gone caution free. Look back behind, Justin Coleman. The 14 slides up in front of Steele Langford. We'll take the 14th spot away. You can definitely tell the cars that have a little bit of damage are experiencing handling issues, I think. Some of those cars with busted right fronts start to drive tight after a certain amount of time. It's really hard to get the car rotated. Track. Thompson is a track that you very much need the car to rotate at all times. Look back up front, your top 3 single file nose to tail, under a car length in between them. And that half-second lead that we were talking about for Michael Ostiek, it's completely gone now. You cannot make any mistakes, as Trent Smith will be right there to capitalize. As Brandon Elvis, trying to lose that time out of turn number 2. Ty Fredrickson in the 36 machine. Let's look at the lap times from that last lap. He's starting to track down your race leaders. We'll watch him this time one more time. He's starting to put in some lap times just a little bit quicker than your top 3. And I think sooner or later, or sooner rather than later, I should say, we're going to be seeing that 36 car battling for the lead. Back into turns 1 and 2. A little bit further back, Riley Stenzel making the pass on Steele Langford. Langford was making a charge up through the field, but has now lost track position. Back to the 15th spot. Only one spot ahead of where he started in the 16th position. Smith taking another peek to the inside of Michael Osteek for the race lead. It's just not going to be able to get the run. But how about it into one this time? Here comes the 3 of Trent Smith taking a peek inside. There'll be a drag race down the backstretch. What happens into turn 3? Trent Smith trying to get the good drive off on the bottom. He'll cut it right down by the apron. That time at the line, it's a drag race, but give it to Michael Osteek just barely. We'll see if Trent Smith can complete the pass on the bottom. You see that outside lane rocket ahead down the straightaways. And that's what makes it so hard to pass here at Thompson. You can pull alongside in the center of the corner, but just get motored on the straightaway, and you can see right there, Trent Smith going to have to try to fall back in line. Brandon Elvis in the 54 machine. I think maybe got up into the marbles right there. Lost a little bit of ground, and he's not going to battle for third with Ty Fredrickson. Ooh, and 54, I think maybe got above the marbles one more time. If you jump over, you see all those little rubber spots on the outside of the racetrack. If you jump over that little trail, you will lose grip and maybe slide up into the outside wall. So these drivers do not want to do that, as we've got another battle for the lead. Drag race once again down the back straightaway. Trent Smith to the inside, and he's got the advantage this time out of 4. He will take the top spot. The 3 machine slides up in front of Michael Osteek. New leader, lap 71. Give it to Trent Smith in the number 3 machine. Ty Fredrickson able to get around Brandon Elvis for third. Let's see what he can do. Trying to track down your top 2. He was your second fastest qualifier here tonight. Meanwhile, checking back in on our fastest qualifier, Derek Kraus. Currently running in the 11th spot. He's got this group of cars up in front of him. He's kind of dialed it back just a little bit. Doesn't want to push too hard to try and get around these guys and overplay his hand. Back up front, your race leader, Trent Smith, starting to pull away a little bit from Michael Osteek. Osteek in the 18, under fire from Ty Fredrickson now. Fredrickson trying to move his way up to the lead. Currently running third. He's got his sights set on the second spot. I wouldn't count out that 54 machine of Brandon Elvis either. He's pretty fast in the 4th spot. And here comes Ty Fredrickson to the inside. Big lunge underneath Michael Osteek. And oh, Osteek cuts back down in front of Brandon Elvis to secure the 3rd spot. But Fredrickson gonna pass the 18 machine for P2. Some of these drivers able to make that big slide job line work without too much contact. Others drivers kind of have to resort to a little bit of a door. We are past the halfway point in this one. It'll be 78 laps down. And 62 to go when they come back around. And here comes Elvis to the inside of Ostique. 18 machine starting to fall back here. I think he's lost some of that drive that he had in the beginning. Little squeeze into the wall there out of 4. Elvis to the bottom, tries to drive it in there and get the run up off. Not able to do it on the inside. That'll allow Ostique to pull back in front. Here comes Elvis again, looking inside through turns 1 and 2. A little contact out of 2. Elvis in the 54 machine got sideways right there. That's Matthew Menendez in the 19, pulled it pit side. Brandon Elvis all over the back bumper of Michael Ostique. You can see the time that they have lost to your top 2. And now things are starting to get a little bit more aggressive. These guys realize we are no longer in the early stages. We're past halfway in this one. Even though we're caution free, we are past halfway. These guys have to get a little bit more aggressive, and by aggressive, that is not entirely what I meant. Brandon Elvis goes around out of 4. There was contact through the center of the corner that time. Michael Ostique on the outside lane. Let's watch what happened here. You can see the 54 just a little bit sideways into the corner. And around he goes. We'll look at it one more time before we watch what happened. Or before we look at pit road, I should say. You can see the 54 just got in a little bit. Into the left side door a little bit, and around he went. Now everybody up front, bringing their machines pit side. 54, Brandon Elvis will follow in behind him. Tough break for the driver, running in the 4th spot. A couple of your leaders, I don't know if the pit strategy, the pit lane opened up late, or I don't know if the pit road opened up late, or if some of these drivers did not pit initially and then saw the call that was made and decided to bring them back down pit road. We'll see how it shakes out. But we are past halfway. Only one caution flag. That was our first one. Under caution for the first time here tonight, and things may start to heat up just a little bit. This will be the first time we're sending them back side by side. These drivers do have fresh tires on the right sides. Deuce cone on the front straightaway. Missed the front couple guys. But Brian Tedeschi and Tristan Swanson going to lead us back to the green. We got 65 laps to go. And through turns 3 and 4, green flags back out. Good jump from Brian Tedeschi down into turns 1 and 2. He'll take the top spot. Couple cars out of line back behind him, but everybody makes their way into turns 3 and 4. Oh, Corey Rogers up the racetrack a little bit. They're going to be 3 wide out of 4, but they'll keep it in the right direction. Anthony Danta up into the 3rd spot. That's Nick Reberg in the 117 to the inside of Joe Schaefer Jr. Ty Fredrickson in the 36 underneath Eddie Dabrowski. Going to take that spot away. Dabrowski up above the marbles right there. I think there may have been contact. We'll look back up front. Brandon Elvis in the 54. Got loose down to the bottom. I think made contact up off the corner. Elvis in the 54 in the 6th spot. Front in the 2nd position, your points leader, Kristen Swanson. He's having a quiet night tonight in that 91. Snuck his way up into 2nd after the pit stop. Shuffled everything up. Back behind, Riley Stenjum gets around Ty Fredrickson. Derek Kraus going to sneak by as well in the number 9. Kraus in the 9th spot, trying to work his way back forward. The lap's starting to run out. They work lap 94 here. It will be 50 laps to go in just 6 laps. Michael Ostick and Trent Smith, the guys that brought the field to pit road, all the way back in the 14th and 15th spots. Did not get the luck of the draw on the restart. Out front, Brian Tedeschi stretches out his lead a little bit here on Tristan Swanson. Swanson's got company from Anthony Danta looking underneath out of 4. 51 has to tuck back in a line, but maybe not. Dives to the bottom and turns 1 and 2. Danta, Swanson side by side. A little contact is made. Oh, and Swanson trying to shove the 91 machine down the racetrack. Danta going to use up every bit of space on the inside. And a big slide to the inside in 1 and 2. Swanson crosses over. Anthony Danta going to take the 2nd spot. Now what can Tristan Swanson do? He'll try to fend off Joe Schaefer Jr. in the 6 machine, but he's to the outside. Swanson going to muscle his way up to the top side, and here comes Brandon Elvis, looking to fight in the action as well. Swanson and Anthony Danta got very aggressive that time, fighting for that 3rd spot. And look at Brandon Elvis. Look at the run he's getting to the inside. Joe Schaefer. Oh, there's contact. Tristan Swanson goes around, and so does Brandon Elvis. They spin up in turn number 3 in the 54. Comes to a stop up in the outside wall. I'm not sure what happened there, but cars spun off of other cars, and they all went for a ride down the back straightaway. Let's see kind of how it happened. We'll go back 1 lap here. See if we can't get a better view at this one. You see the 91 up on the outside. I think the 6 machine of Joe Schaefer initially made contact with Brandon Elvis, and then Brandon Elvis made contact with Tristan Swanson, sending him around. Let's try to see how that happened one more time. A little bit different angle here. This is off of 2. Oh, I actually think it came from even further back. Nick Rieberg, I think, got into the left rear of Joe Schaefer Jr. in the 6 machine. And then that got Schaefer into Swanson. Or sorry, Schaefer into Elvis, and then Elvis into Swanson. Chain reaction crashed right there. into turn number 3. A tough break for the 54 of Brandon Elvis. A lot of damage on that race car. He'll bring it pit side, try to get some of that fixed up. But we knew it was going to get exciting there, and boy, did it. Till it all let loose down the back straightaway. 102 laps in. 48 to go. This time by out of turn number 4, the field going to do the choose cone. They'll go inside or outside. See where they want to start. A lot of guys electing to choose that outside preferred route. But the lights back off in the iRacing.com pace car. Still 19 cars on the lead lap. Pace car back to the bottom. Through the restart zone they go. A little bit of a lower restart zone that time from Brian Tedeschi. Anthony Danta tried to get the jump, and Tedeschi's going to leave him in the dust down into turn number 1. Move Joe Schaefer up into the 2nd spot. Danta back to 3rd. Nick Rehberg, Jackson Lewis fighting right there for the 4th spot. Lewis is going to have it on the top. Meanwhile, they look 3 wide back behind him. Justin Coleman way on the top side in the 14. Didn't get the best run off of the corner. Here comes Michael Ostiek to the bottom. Meanwhile, up front for the race lead. Joe Schaefer Jr. to the inside in the 6th, and we've got a caution back behind. I did not see what had happened there. But something happened. I believe to the 54 of Brandon Elvis. Watch one more time. Oh, and the 71 of Will Vess. And a double Alt F4 right there. Both of them. Oh, maybe not double. Both of them had issues on the front stretch. We'll watch it one more time. We're going to go back a little bit further. See if we can't see how it progressed. You see the 71 came off of the wall. Got the right rear of the 54. Around goes Brandon Elvis. Tough break. And that is going to do it for the 54's run. Brian Tedeschi holds the race lead. He was getting challenged from Joe Schaefer Jr. in the number 6 machine. He was right there. We'll see what happens on this restart. Also got to keep an eye on what lane you want to be in starting from 2nd. We saw the run that Anthony Danta got on that last one, starting 2nd on the bottom. Looked like Tedeschi was shot out of a cannon. Field going to come back to the choose cone this time as we are under caution for the 3rd time here on the Mabel's Jackpot 150. Tedeschi will likely choose that outside lane. Joe Schaefer going to challenge himself on the bottom. That inside lane, very tough to start on, especially here tonight. Not been the preferred groove on these restarts. Let's see what happens here as the field is doubled up behind the iRacing.com pace car. Going to send them back green inside of 40 laps to go. Tedeschi goes nice and early on that outside lane. Going to get a big jump out of turn number 4. Joe Schaefer Jr. going to be able to clear for the second spot. And we are back racing 112 laps in out of 150 here at Thompson. Anthony Danta going to fall back in line into the third spot. But here comes Riley Stenjum with a big challenge to the inside. He wants that spot, and Stenjum loose off of 4. What a save on the front stretch. And man, the bets are off now. The elbows are up. These guys are going for every position that they can get. The 17 of Rehberg up the track. Lewis also into Rehberg. Brett McCoy and Corey Rogers slowed on the front straightaway. And then a separate incident, Riley Stenjum looped around on the exit of turn number 2. We saw that 77 machine having a tough time there for a while. He had lost some spots right there down into 1. Let's see what happened. I think he got tagged. Kind of a mixture there. Got tagged from Trent Smith from behind, and then also got a kind of a door from Ty Fredrickson. And even Steele Langford there late at the end could not see him. Look at it one more time. You see the initial contact there, and then the 36 of Fredrickson. When he hits him right there, it slows the momentum of the 77. And then nowhere for the 33 to go. I think he might have locked him up. We'll watch that on board with Langford and his perspective of that. You can see him wrecking up there in front of him, right off the corner. Nothing he could have done. A really tight corner exit. You can't see too much on the corner, or when you're on the entrance of the corner, I should say. Full 180-degree corner, and it's a tight one too. We are 116 laps into this one. 4th caution flag so far. We went the first 80 laps under green. We've had a slew of cautions from there. I think the field's going to choose this time. We'll see where they go. Tedeschi's been a rocket ship on this outside lane on the restarts, but we'll see what Anthony Danta can do on the inside. One to go signal given to these drivers. We're about ready to send them back. Green flag racing here. Inside of 35 laps to go. Good launch from the 29 of Tedeschi. A big jump into turns 1 and 2. Here comes Joe Schaefer Jr. to the outside. Oh, and Schaefer gets tagged by Rehberg, and they spin down the back straightaway. I think that's Jackson Lewis in the 7 as well. Yes, it is. Let's watch what happened from a different perspective there. It's down into 1 on the restart. We'll watch the 6 of Joe Schaefer get tagged initially, and then I think after that is when the 7, the 7 tagged Rehberg after the fact, and then both of them spin off of 2. I think the 17 likely checked up after making the contact with Schaefer. But caution flag number 5 comes out here with just 30 laps remaining. Laps running thin. Brian Tedeschi, your race leader. You've had 5 caution flags, 18 caution laps in this one. I would say most of those have probably been past lap 100. We're 22 laps past that point, and we've not really had a green flag stretch since that lap 100 mark. Field single file down the back. We're going to let them choose this time. Anthony Danta was able to hang on to second right there. Although Schaefer had a little bit of trouble down into 1 and 2. Luckily, he didn't get tagged in that one late. But your front 2 back through the shoes zone. And Tedeschi trying to play a little bit of games here on this restart. You see him slow him down and speed up on the backstretch, trying to keep everybody on their toes. We send him back inside of 30 to go. Tedeschi up top, Danta down low, and a big jump once again from that outside lane. Tedeschi's just able to mash it off of the corner. Get a huge run. Here comes Joe Schaefer to the outside. Schaefer down the back straightaway. Oh, contact into 3. Derek Kraus underneath Ty Fredrickson. Fredrickson going to move up the racetrack, and now Joe Schaefer and Anthony Danta make contact for second. They're 3 wide into 1 and 2. Brian Honeycutt underneath Derek Kraus. Ty Fredrickson gets squeezed up into the fence. They are battling hard behind your race leader, Brian Tedeschi. He is loving what he's seeing. He's got a 0.7 of a second advantage. As now Joe Schaefer tries to hold off Anthony Danta with 25 laps to go. More contact in 1 and 2. The 6 machine under fire. How about Derek Kraus right there in the 9 as well? He could get up there and steal this one late. Back behind him, Justin Coleman completes the pass, gets around Eddie Dabrowski. Dabrowski now side by side with Michael Ostiek. Oh, and there's contact between the two. Dabrowski in the 29 had to check up into 1. He's going to lose some ground right there. And a couple positions down into 3 and 4. Up in front of them, Ty Fredrickson to the inside of Ryan Honeycutt. Honeycutt gets moved up the racetrack. He's going to try to cross back underneath, but I don't think he's going to be able to. Kristen Swanson, your points leader, sitting in the 5th spot here. Oh, in trouble back behind. Will Vess in the 71 goes for a slide, and that will bring out the caution flag for a 6th time here tonight. Don't know if there was contact. I don't think there was off of turn number 2. The 71 of Vess got sideways and went for the spin cycle. I don't think there was contact. Right up off the corner, just got a little sideways, and luckily everybody back behind was able to miss. Caution comes out once again. Gonna retry it here inside of 20 laps to go now. Under caution for the 6th time. Wilbest going to bring that machine pit side. Tedeschi going to bring him back inside of 20 laps to go. We're winding the laps down here. And not a lot of time for some of these guys outside of the top 5. But don't count out that number 9 machine going to be rolling off from the 3rd spot here on this restart. That's Derek Kraus. We'll see what he's able to do. Rolling off from the 3rd spot, he elects to launch from the outside lane, right behind race leader Brian Tedeschi. We'll see how it plays out with 15 laps to go. Through turn number 4, the 29 launches, and it'll be a drag race into turns 1 and 2, 16 to go into turn 1. Good launch from Tedeschi. He'll use the outside lane to his advantage and take the lead down the back straightaway, but here comes Derek Kraus trying to fight for second. Derek Kraus and Joe Schaefer Jr. side by side for the second position. Looks like Kraus going to take that spot down into 1, and he'll set his sights on your race leader. We've got a caution on the speedway. Eddie Dabrowski in the 029. Turned around the wrong way in turn number 1. Let's see how it happened. There was contact up in front of him. I think Ty Fredrickson got Anthony Danta, and then the 29 of Dabrowski went across the nose of, I think that was Brett McCoy. I did not see how it happened, though. Watch one more time. This is on board with Brett McCoy in the 1 machine. It looked like the 29 just came up the racetrack right there. McCoy really didn't do much with his hands. 29 just went around on the outside. And that puts us under yellow for a 7th time. Caution-filled second half of this race. Closing in on 10 laps to go. And Derek Kraus going to line up next to Brian Tedeschi. That's going to be an exciting restart. We'll see what the number 9 machine can do. Well, alrighty, folks, we're back. I forgot the mic was muted there. And we are back green, but for how long? 10 laps to go. Ty Fredrickson on the back straightaway. A couple drivers sideways, and oh, Michael Ostiek in the 18 machine goes for a slide. Anthony Danta as well. Oh, and a couple cars coming in there late. That'll put us under yellow for the 8th time here tonight. Watch what happened. I missed a restart. We will see one more time. Somebody went into the wall down into 1, and that kind of shuffled things off weird from the get-go. I think that was Ty Fredrickson hard into the wall in 1. And you can see his incident down the back straightaway, somehow not a caution. They went into turns 3 and 4, 3 wide, and then Ostiek and Anthony Danta get tagged, and around they both go. And Ty Fredrickson and Brett McCoy both come in there late. Big time contact. And that's going to shake up the field quite a bit. Derek Kraus is your leader after that one. Brian Tedeschi back to the 3rd spot after leading so much of the second half of this race. Choose cone once again. Oh, maybe not. Next time I will do the choose cone. Next week in the Winter Challenge Series, the drivers head to the Slinger Super Speedway. A fun 100 laps there. Choose cone once again. Kraus to the inside, or sorry, Kraus to the outside. Tristan Swanson to the inside. See what happens here. Inside of the final 5 laps. I believe it'll be 4 laps to go when they come back to the stripe. So a 4 to go restart. Can they get it done right here, or will we go into overtime? Put your prediction in the chat below. Pace car is off. It is in the hands of Derek Kraus, Tristan Swanson. And back through turns 3 and 4 they go. We are green flag with 4 laps to go. There we go, down into 1 and 2. Tristan Swanson drives up in the outside lane. He'll take the spot away from Brian Tedeschi. What can he do with 3 laps to go? 3 more times. Three to go. Kraus is your leader. Tristan Swanson trying to track him down. Justin Coleman into the back bumper behind him, or into the back of the wall behind him. And popsicle sticks up in the air this time. 2 laps to go for Derek Kraus. Up front, Tristan Swanson trying to chase down Derek Kraus. Back behind him, they are scrapping for that 6th spot. Deal Lankford with a big shot to the bottom. In the final time around, white flag is out. 1 more lap to go. Matt Thompson. Final time through turns 3 and 4. It's going to be Derek Kraus picking up the Mabel's Jackpot 150. Couple cars spinning across the line. That was Jackson Lewis. I think Riley Stenjum. But that will do it. Derek Kraus picks up the victory for the 2nd week in a row. Your first 2-time winner. Derek Kraus going to park it on the front straightaway. We'll see if we can't talk to our top 3. We'll grab them as we can get them. We'll get our results up on the left side of our screen as well. Final feature results. Derek Kraus, your winner. Tristan Swanson, second. Joe Schaefer Jr. comes home third. We'll see if we can grab a word from our second place finisher, Tristan Swanson. Tristan Swanson up into the broadcast booth. Second place finisher here tonight. You started 12th in this one at a track that's hard to pass. 12th to second. Not a bad run.
Yeah, it's not a bad run at all. Definitely happy with the results here. This is definitely not a strong track of mine, so to walk away with a podium, it's definitely more relaxing that now that this is over.
Yeah, definitely. Thompson, a difficult track to get by. Unless you're really good here, it's kind of a track that I feel like a lot of people may dread coming to. There are some people that have this track circled on their calendars. It is their favorite, but it is not mine. And it sounds like you and I are in the same boat. So congratulations to you on a second place run here this evening. Who do you have to thank, Tristan, for P2 here tonight?
Yeah, I got to thank Elite Performance Industries, Sharp Design Co., as well as Braden Mori Racing, and of course, always my wife for allowing me to do this. And she's actually watching the stream right now. She hasn't been home for the last week, so hello Lauren, and I love you and I miss you.
Alrighty, well, how cool is that? Get to say hello over the stream. Well, congratulations to you, Tristan, on a P2 here tonight. What do you think you got for Slinger next week?
Yeah, it's definitely going to be an interesting race. Tight racing for sure. And with the amount of cars we get in this league, it's definitely going to be interesting. But definitely looking forward to it. So it's a track that I've raced at in real life, and I've won there many times. So it's definitely cool to race at it virtually as well.
Yeah, definitely going to be a fun time. We'll hope to see you there. Congratulations to you, Tristan, on a second place run here tonight.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yes, sir. All right, we'll try to grab our winner. We'll be able to grab Joe Schaefer Jr. as well. Let's grab a word from Joe Schaefer Jr., our third place finisher here tonight. Up in the broadcast booth, Joe Schaefer Jr., third place finisher here at Thompson. You got a copy?
I gotcha.
Alrighty, well, P3 here this evening. Definitely an eventful race. It got a little hectic there at the end, but you kept the 6 machine up front all night long. Looked like you may have had a shot to win, just didn't quite have the track positioning there when it mattered the most.
Yeah, I would have felt bad taking advantage of Brian. He's a teammate of mine, and I had a chance to do it, and I just couldn't do it. Happy enough to finish third. I haven't had a very good luck finishing races in this league, so I will take it.
Yeah, good run. I know you had a good run going at the Indianapolis Raceway Park. That one got cut short. Didn't quite get to see it to its full potential, but tonight definitely a more all-around good run for the 6 machine. Got the result at the end. Who do you have to thank for P3 in the Winter Challenge Series?
Yeah, thank everybody on the posse for hanging out and racing with me tonight. Also, thanks Brett for running the league. And I guess one quick note, somewhere along lap 75, lap 100 or so, I don't know if we were 3 wide or what the deal was, but I ended up getting into Tristan, and he obviously recovered and finished second, but I definitely meant to give him more room, and I think he might have spun off my nose. So sorry to Tristan for that, but otherwise, happy the way this one turned out for once.
Yeah, good run for the 6 machine here tonight. Congratulations to you on your third place finish here tonight, Mr. Joe Schaefer.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. All right, folks, that was your third place finisher. And now to talk to our winner here tonight. Let's see if we can't grab Derek Kraus up in the broadcast booth. Derek Kraus, 2 weeks in a row winner here in the Winter Challenge Series. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Alrighty, well, we knew you were looking forward to this race last week. You said it was kind of like Rockford. Well, it looked like it was like Rockford here tonight, but the 9 machine in Victory Lane looked like you had something for him.
Yeah, obviously it was really tough to pass all night. So, um, just kind of slowly and methodically make our way through the field, and then kind of turned into a little bit of a mess. But that's kind of as expected here at Thompson. So, um, we'll see what we can be able to come home with the win and be able to grab a couple more points.
Yeah, definitely going to be a good night in the points as well. One thing, that initial start, you started from the rear here tonight, and there was a little bit of an incident into turn one. I don't know exactly what happened, but the caution flag never flew for it. What did you think when that initially happened? There's no caution. You're way behind the 8-ball. Caution flag never flew. How did you mentally recover from that situation?
I don't know. I just kind of knew that it was going to be a longer race. So, um, once I kind of knew where I was, it was kind of just managing my tires and making sure that I was there at the end. So, like you said, we got caught up in that stack up right away, but kind of caught back up to the field pretty quickly, and then just kind of rode and picked them off one at a time, and then just did what I could and tried to make it to the front as quick as possible.
Yeah, I remember seeing that first incident, and then somewhere along the way in that first green flag run, probably lap 50 or 60, I saw you and Steele battling somewhere around like the 11th spot, and I was like, man, he's really working his way back up through the field. I knew you'd be quick when it was all said and done, and of course, the 9 machine ended up in victory lane here tonight. One of the fastest cars, if not the fastest for sure. But who do you have to thank, Derek, for 2 wins in a row in the Winter Challenge Series?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, they do a really good job with the setups, Brett, and I guess whoever all builds it. But overall, just want to thank them guys for putting this league on. It's always really fun to run this league, and just enjoy doing it every Monday night. So, looking forward to Slinger next weekend. It's one of my favorite racetracks in real life. So, on iRacing, they did a really good job scanning it and making sure everything was right. So, Slinger is going to be a really fun race next week, and it'll be a good show.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to Slinger as well. It's going to be a fun one. But one more time, congratulations to you, Derek, on 2 wins in a row here at Thompson.
All right, yeah, thank you. Hopefully, we can be talking to you guys again next week.
Yes, sir. Hopefully we can go 3 in a row. How does that sound?
Yep, this sounds great.
Alrighty, well, congratulations one more time. Alrighty, folks, that was your winner, Derek Kraus. 2 weeks in a row. Tough field of cars to be able to win back-to-back weeks, to have everything go right in back-to-back weeks. I think that's the big thing. We've seen people be fast week in and week out, but the luck has just not always been there. But Derek picks up the win 2 weeks in a row. We'll see what he can do at Slinger. We'll look at the rest of our finishing results. Tristan Swanson comes home 2nd, Joe Schaefer Jr. 3rd, Brian Tedeschi 4th, Ryan Honeycutt 5th, Steele Langford 6th, Brett Smith 7th, Corey Rogers 8th, Nick Reberg 9th, Justin Coleman 10th, Brett McCoy 11th, Jackson Lewis 12th, Riley Stenjum 13th, Michael Ostiek 14th, Will Vess 15th, Ty Fredrickson 16th, Eddie Dabrowski 17th, Anthony Danta 18th, Brandon Elvis 19th, Matthew Begendez comes home 20th, and then back behind him, rounding out our field, it's Danny Mann, Caleb Adrian, and Joshua Calhoun. Daniel Calhoun. But that will do it for us here tonight, folks, at the Thompson Speedway. We've got a couple more races coming up here in the coming months. I'll look at our schedule here. We got Slinger next week, and then New Smyrna, South Boston after that, and then Kern before the playoffs. The top 10 are going to advance into the 3-race playoff. So we'll see what happens throughout the season, but thank you guys for tuning in to the WD Broadcasting Network. If you guys like what you saw, hit that red subscribe button for more iRacing content. We'll see you guys back tomorrow night for the Leave the Pack Super Series, and then Thursday night for the Trackmaster Sim Series as well. So I am your host, Winston Deal, signing it off. See you guys tomorrow night. Peace out.